After the deadly crashes in D.C., Philly, Alaska, and Arizona, a lot of people were already nervous about flying. The crash in Toronto this week may have been the tipping point for some travelers. Should you be wary of boarding that next flight? WMER2 News' Elizabeth Worthington took that question to some aviation experts, and she joins us now with what she learned, because a lot of people want to hear this, Elizabeth.
Yeah, Kelly, the crash in D.C. last month was the deadliest aviation accident in almost 25 years. So after that, it's only natural for us to pay closer attention to what's happening in the sky. But the last few weeks have given us no shortage of things to talk about and worry about. But experts we spoke to all agree it's really just a fluke. Whether you're a frequent flyer or an anxious one, all the recent plane crashes might have you wondering what's going on up there. Well, experts say take off the tinfoil hat and hop on that next flight worry-free.
It's more dangerous getting in your car and driving to the airport or driving home. It's just statistically, it is.
You definitely don't have anything to worry about.
At times it seems surreal when you have so many incidences, one after another. But you have to look at also, is there any commonality across them? And the answer is no.
That's the key, according to aviation security expert Dr. Sheldon Jacobson, former commercial pilot and Navy fighter pilot Matthew Wiz Buckley, and DC-based travel expert and former flight attendant Bobby Laurie. Although these crashes happened seemingly one after the other these last few weeks, it should only raise alarm bells for flyers if there was a pattern to what caused them.
There's no common theme between any of these at all.
It's not like the 737 MAX issues that we had earlier in like 2020, where you knew it was a 737 MAX problem.
The circumstances around them were so different that there's nothing that I can see in the data that suggests that we have a problem with the air system right now.
There's also a big difference between the extreme safety of flying commercial and the relatively more risky business of flying smaller jets like the ones that crashed in Philadelphia, Alaska, and Arizona recently. In 2023, for example, there were 0 deaths from commercial plane crashes, while there were several hundred from general aviation.
They don't have the checks and balances that you see in commercial airplanes. What we're seeing in Toronto, what we're seeing at Washington Reagan are outliers. And
people were quick to make it political, blaming the Trump administration for its recent layoffs in the Federal Aviation Administration.
It's so stupid. And immediately when they were jumping on that yesterday, I'm like, it crashed in Canada, right? And it had nothing to do with air traffic controllers.
It's too quickly after the gutting that it seems to be happening right now. It's just too fast. We have to look over a 3, a 6-month period, a 1-year period, just to see what's happening. And that will give us some information and clue.
What we're looking at for the future by way of the layoffs in the FAA and the short staffing didn't have anything to do with what happened in DCA and in Toronto.
Time will tell whether the staffing shakeup will have negative consequences, but another concern it seems everyone can agree on is our outdated air traffic control technology. But overhauling that system while minimizing travel disruptions is a tall order.
It's doable. It's just we haven't had the political will to do it. But sadly, maybe some dead bodies will get the attention to the folks in D.C. But it's an antiquated system. It's just a joke.
And President Trump said earlier this month that is something he wants Congress to tackle. On Capitol Hill today, the U.S. Travel Association recommended he establish a task force to get the ball rolling. Kelly?